Om Shanti, welcome. Hi, come on in. Water's fine. Hi, everybody. Om Shanti, welcome. And welcome, Zoomers out there. And thank you for braving the heat, cold, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is. It just is weather, right? But it's lovely and it's summer, and I love summer. So, welcome to our Thursday evening conversations. How many of you are, this month is about remembrance, and I was looking around and going, I remember you, I remember you, I remember. Is there anyone who has not been here before? Okay, so I remember you. And my name is Michelle, and I share these MC with Louise, and I'm sure you remember Louise. So we're talking about remembering. I'm going to say that word a lot as I speak, remembering with love, which is really the best way to remember. And I was thinking, and I love that song, by the way. Thank you. Brother Eric is doing double duty today, actually, probably triple duty. Hi, Neuron. Bye. How are you? Not only is he up in the audio visual, is he AV, but he's also our speaker tonight, which is always a treat for us. And I love that song because sometimes music hits me in the right, right spot. And when it says, and when I remember who I am, and I thought about that, when I remember who I am, a soul, a child of God, that's when, at least I think, I'm at my best. So that's the key, is always to remember who you are and remember yourself and others with love. And that's something that took a long time for me to get to. I didn't always, I liked myself. I was okay, but I used to beat myself up a lot. And as something I would say something because as you know, because you've seen me, I like to speak. And inevitably, when you speak a lot, and we talk about this in the Brahma Kumaris, you should say less. But I like to speak. That's something I remember. I was always, when I was in kindergarten, the kindergarten teacher would take me out of classroom. They don't do this hopefully anymore, and send me into the hallway so everyone could see, and thankfully they didn't hang a sign chatterbox, but I was a chatterbox. I don't know if you know what that, always talking. But as a result, when you speak a lot, you can say things inadvertently that you may not have wanted to say. And one thing, when you say it, you can't take it back. And that's something, when I would say something, I would, stupid, why did you say that? I don't do that anymore. I actually I accept what I do because God actually kind of laughs with me when I say things. I honestly believe that the joke was on me, that everything I do is okay because, he actually likes it. So I entertain God, if you will. That's kind of how I look at it. So I kind of am much more tolerant of myself, but that's not about me. It's about all of us. And the subject today is the art of remembering. And one thing that I learned here, welcome, is you cannot remember what you've never experienced. And I never realized that till I studied with the Brahma Kumaris. It's true. You cannot remember it if you haven't experienced it. And it made me think, well, I always remembered from as a young age, and I've spoken about this before, about God. I remember being a child seeking God and 5 years old speaking to God. And I'm like, how is that? My family was not particularly religious. In fact, not at all. So where did it come from? Where would a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old sit out a window every night and look out and speak to God every night? And my parents didn't know because I kind of thought it was unusual to do that. So I didn't tell them, but I would speak to God. And I thought about it through the years and thinking about it, that all that is inside of you, the knowledge of the world and all the qualities of God, are there in you. You just have to remember it. And I was very fortunate at a young age. I remembered. And it has gone on my entire life. And when I really remember it, really, and not just remember it, but merge it with me and act that way, so much the better. That is when I am at my best. And what I mean by my best, like myself the most, people around me want to be with me, I am happy. And that is a wonderful thing. And I just want to tie in one more thing that's very interesting because Brother Eric said I could just go on and on. Is that still true, Brother Eric? Oh, no, wrap it up. Keep going. Okay. No, one other thing that's really fascinating is I was always a seeker at a young age. In fact, when I was going to college, I didn't do this because I realized I didn't have to go to college for this. I was always interested in religion, if you will. I called it, and I wanted to study comparative religion because I thought it was a fascinating subject. But instead of doing that in college, I did something my parents, in those days, I didn't stand up as much. And they said, "Oh, you got to get a degree. You're going to get a job. You're going to get a job." So that was, I didn't study comparative religion, but my whole life I've studied comparative religion in my own way. And I was born in this life, tradition Jewish, although my family did not practice, but I was always in temple I remember grade school. Some reason I was always there. And so too going forward, and I studied a lot. I would go every morning and every week to study. And one thing that's fascinating is there was a very scholarly man who spoke about, I don't know if you've heard of the Kabbalah, which is a spiritual study. And religion, that's a whole other discussion about religion versus spirituality, because I do believe there is a big difference in terms of what people say, are you religious? And I'd always ask myself, and one thing I will say, when you ask yourself, am I religious? If you're asking yourself, you're religious. That's one thing that I've come to believe. But more than religious, I was always, and I didn't know this till I got here, I was spiritual. I was always seeking God. Well, one thing that's fascinating about how we are all together in this, no matter what you are, whether you're a Brahma Kumari, whether you're Jewish, Christian, celebrate Kwanzaa, you're a Jain, you're a Buddhist, and I've studied with those guys too for a long time, but they didn't believe in God, and I kind of didn't get that. But in Judaism, there is a belief that an infant, when they come into the world, all the knowledge is inherent in that infant. They know the whole world, and it's all in that little crease below their nose. Everyone has it. If you feel your nose, there's like a crease there. There is a belief, and it's studied, that everything a baby knows, everything they know is under their nose, and they understand the world. And as they grow, they lose it and lose it and lose it until they become an adult, and they don't know as much as they did as that innocent child. And that, when I thought about it, ties into kind of what we're going to talk about tonight, that we have to remember, and we have to have yoga. And yoga is communion with the spirit, the supreme soul, who tells us and reminds us that union, who we are. And when we are who we really are, we are at our best. So Om Shanti. And with that, I'm going to bring up, what's your name? Eric, Brother Eric, who has been a Raja Yoga meditation practicing for over 40 years. He was one of the first people I had met with Sister Anjani when my office was down there. I didn't know you then. You were kind of quiet. Now I've come to know you a lot bit better. And he's an unbelievably inspirational gentleman. He is extremely experienced instructor, but you know that because I remember you. And he is a retreat facilitator. He is most important on the Brahma Kumari representative to the UN and a Long Island, and we talked about this, multi-faith forum. He too understands the comparisons, but we are all one. And before his retirement, and this is my favorite, that he was a civil engineer in property loss management, which is like the coolest thing that you're doing. It is, because it's about things and loss. And that's really not what it's about. So it's just it's, everything prepares you for where you're supposed to be. So with that, I am very happy to bring up Brother Eric.
Thank you, Sister Michelle. Thank you all for coming tonight. Hope you're excited. As I was thinking, we misnamed this session tonight. The month is Remembrance with Love, because we celebrated a festival, Raksha Bandhan, and many of you might have gotten a Rakhi and had some of that understanding. We still have some of the decorations for that holiday up here, but it's kind of who am I connected to and what is my eternal relationship? And so it's a feeling of love, and there's a remembrance of love, and there's a Rakhi. So that's kind of the monthly theme. And we get a chance to pick our specific topic within that theme. And so the art of remembering, I thought that sounded kind of fun. Artists. But as I thought about it, it's probably better named The Art of Not Forgetting. And there's a difference, because when you have had the experience, and I've had many experiences of forgetting things, okay? I'm going to trust that some of you have done that also. There's supposed to be some head noddings there. No, I've never forgotten anything, or yeah, it's okay. You can respond. It's pretty low key tonight. But the art of not forgetting, that sense that we do have things in our mind, we do have activities, and sometimes we forget. And so, what is the practice and the process of maybe remembering what we're supposed to remember? And there's a classic story of a princess, and she has a very, very special necklace, and she can't find it. And so she looks here, she looks there, she looks everywhere in the drawers and this, and gets excited and is calling people. I can't find my necklace, my necklace. I don't know where it's at. It's my favorite necklace. And then gets everybody excited. And then someone comes up to her and says, I think the necklace is around your neck. It's like, oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Forgot she was wearing it. The modern day version of that is, have you ever used the flashlight on your phone to look for your phone? I gotta find my, I can't, okay, I've done that. I've actually, I can't find my phone. I need the flashlight. Where's, so we kind of misplace things. We don't always know where they're at. And so we sometimes forget, and we start looking. We start looking for things. Have you ever misplaced something and started to look for it? When you start looking for something, it implies that you have had that it was something you had. Where are my keys? Okay. If you have a car, you probably have keys. Don't leave the fob in the car. They steal it that way. So you've got your keys, you put them somewhere in your purse, on the table, something in a hurry. Where did it go? I'm looking for my keys. It means if you're looking for something, if you're searching for something, you had something. And so we try to remember what it is or where we put it, where it was. Let me think. I had a nice example of that today. I was getting ready and I was thinking, oh, I need to put on some socks. And so I was doing something and I came into the bedroom. Why am I here again? And then kind of, oh yeah, I now I remember. Some of these things are a little slippery. I hope I'm not the only one who has had that. The way you fix that is go out and then come back in again. And it's like, oh yeah, now I know I'm here. That's the trick. Something about a door frame kind of washes your thought process up. But if we have lost something and we look for it, it implies that we have had it. And here we've practiced meditation. What are we thinking? Who am I? A variety of those things. Some were in the song, some was in the commentary, some was what Sister Michelle was saying, kind of some of the aspects that we talk about. But it's very interesting in that way then, because when we start to look for certain qualities or feelings or experiences, I want more of this. I would like to feel this way. Whatever. What does that imply? It implies if you're looking for it, you've had it. And so if you are looking for an experience of deep peace, if you're looking for an experience of being cared for, if you're looking for the experience of anything on a spiritual, metaphysical level, if you're looking for more, if you're looking for something, it implies that you've had that. Because you don't look for things you don't have, you never had, you haven't lost. Did anybody spend any time today looking for their elephant? I don't know why you laugh. Did you? Why not? Why didn't you look for your elephant? You never had an elephant, so why would you look for it? Does that make some sense? We only look for something. We only search for something. We only want something in this sense that we've had, that we're trying to regain. So we learn a lot about ourselves by just evaluating, thinking, listening to our desires. Oh, if I only could be more relaxed. Okay, so we're not in a state of relaxation. We know what it's like. We want that. So we're trying to fill that gap of relaxation somehow. But we've had that. More peace, more love, more happiness, more joy, more contentment, all those qualities. If you ever feel that I don't have enough, listen to that. You're searching for it, you're looking for it. I've been in that state of fullness before. And so we learn a lot about ourselves. We learn on a physical level that if you don't eat, you can experiment with this as much as you want. But if you don't eat for the rest of the week, okay, what are you going to be thinking about? Food, probably food, oh, my stomach is talking to me and I need something, because you were going to look to have that sense of satisfaction, being satiated, to have a contentment to the stomach. And the same is going to be true on a feeling level, spiritual level, soul level. If I would like to have more calm, more peace, I have had that. And so I know what my nature is. I know I've got to feed myself. I know I have to take care of myself. That's important. But I also know that I need to somehow cultivate, nurture, think, grow those qualities that I'm searching for also. And it's that mechanism for me of remembrance. Very simple. Just remember. And in the song, I was talking about remembering. And when we know the answer, then acting out the solution is easy. Oh, I forgot my keys. They were on the counter. I go back to the counter and I pick them up. Sometimes I stumble onto it. Oh, they're there. So if I know a mechanism when I remember, oh, that's where I left them, let me go and get it. When we remember that we've got two energies, the physical, feed the stomach, and the spiritual, feed the soul. And so that indicates an understanding of who I am, what my qualities are, what my nature is, and then let me just implement, exercise, put into practice that method to attain that. And so remembrance is kind of, oh yeah, that's right. Let me think about that. One of the mechanisms that I've also learned is that when I start to focus on something, it expands. I start to see it more. I start to feel it more. I start to allow that to be the issue in front of me. And as it expands, what happens to everything else? Where did it go in my vision? Where are my hands going? I don't see them anymore. They just kind of move out when I concentrate and focus and expand that. I'm going to do some examples, I think, experiments tonight. I want you, and I hope you are okay, and I hope you had a meal today. Did you have a meal? Everyone, a breakfast? How many of you already had dinner? It's fine. So you've got, some of you have three choices, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or maybe one choice. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I don't want to hear any confessions about how many meals you had. But pick one. You give your breakfast or your lunch and go back to that moment where you were. Where were you? Were you at home or outside? Look at your plate if you had a plate. What was on it? See it. Now remember the aroma. What was the smell? How did it taste? Was it leisurely? Was it rushed? Bring all that back. Remember that moment. Are you there? Remember that, but come back. Were you able to remember your meal, your breakfast, your lunch? Did you have a good lunch? Something? When you were thinking about the aroma, how it looked, where you were, all those details, you focused, you chose, you expanded that, you put all of your energy into that moment. What happened to everything else? Did you have other thoughts? If you were really concentrating, did your mind wander or were you just there? And the only sensations, experiences that you had were on your breakfast. Does that make some sense? That when you think of one thing and focus in on that, you're not thinking about the others. The energy of the other things doesn't come into your being. And so when we remember something, we choose that, and that experience grows. Did anybody get hungry while you were doing that experiment? Oh. And the same is going to be true, not just for the physical, how we feed the body, but the spiritual. We see ourselves as spiritual beings. This picture is great. It's got multi levels and dimensions, but we see that as our self, point of light, energy, consciousness, soul. And when we start to see that picture in our mind, I am a spiritual being. I have these qualities. I have a mechanism that allows me not only to see my breakfast and smell my breakfast and taste my breakfast. Maybe you were touching your breakfast. You had those senses, but you also have some sort of a mechanism or a spiritual sense to be able to feel the peace, the love, the happiness, the joy. That's the soul. Those two things are you, life, together. And so we focus now on remembering who I truly am, a spiritual being using a physical body. I am the soul. Let me just remember that. I had it. I've lost that awareness typically. I know there's something more. I'm searching for it. If I'm searching for it, if I'm looking for it, I had it. I have had peace, fullness. I have had complete experience of being loved and having the power to love. Those are all a part of my experience. And when I remember that and focus on that, focus in on myself, see myself the same way I saw breakfast, not exactly, that will grow. We're going to try that experiment. Are you okay with another experiment? Heads can wobble. It's okay. Yeah. So there's some nods here. No, 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 I can't do any more experiments. Okay. Was it challenging? Was it hard to sit and think of something nice? That I don't want to ask too much, so just go slow. But let's see if we can play, remember, experiment with who we are and what our qualities are. And I want you to use this picture. See that point of light, that sense of undivisible energy and personality, and that's a mirror. That's who you are. You are the soul that operates your physical body behind the third eye, interacting with the physical through thoughts. But now we're going to just bring our attention onto where we reside, behind the eyes. I'm the spiritual being. I'm the instrument and the vehicle for experiencing spiritual qualities. And now I'm going to choose to remember the deep experience I have of my own truth, that I am a being of peace. And I see that point of light. I see that soul. I see myself. And I remember. I remember the peace that I carry inside of me. I allow that memory and that experience to grow. And I feel what it's like again to be totally relaxed, unencumbered by anything else other than the awareness of who I am, what this quality feels like. And so see yourself, remember yourself at peace. Feel that peace emanating from the soul behind the eyes, and let it drift, flow through the entire physical body that you carry. We used our minds to choose to look at breakfast, engaged in that. We choose our mind to think of ourselves remember ourselves as an eternal spiritual being of peace. And the peace starts to flow. And we have many qualities. And we're going to practice another one. Choose to remember in your search for love. You've experienced something possibly. You've had someone care for you. And now you can remember what that love is like that you carry in the soul. Your nature is to be loving. Your original quality is to be able to share that love. So hold that picture of yourself in love, with love, as love, and allow that memory, remembrance to come back into your awareness and into your present experience. Now hold on to that experience. See if you can allow that thought to create a feeling and that experience. Allow that feeling to go deep. But I'm going to take a little tangent here. You have the ability to experience metaphysical qualities, spiritual, beyond the physical, peace, love, happiness. And many in the world have forgotten how to do that. They don't remember who they are. They don't remember how to get back to that fullness. And so there's an absence, a lack, a difference between what we've experienced sometimes, somewhere, somehow, and our current situation. And there are many in the world who are happy to try to fill that gap. I'm looking for more happiness. I'm looking for more peace. I'm looking for more security. I'm looking for more spiritual qualities. And I had a friend who was in advertising, and I was always amazed when I first understood this. But advertisers try to engage you on a spiritual level. If you have ever had something called Coca-Cola, they don't say, please buy this brown, oversweetened, bubbly liquid. That's not their pitch, is it? That's what it is, but that's not how they try to promote it. They try to give you a spiritual experience. Buy this, and you will have more joy in your life. You will have more happiness in your life. And then they show people smiling at each other and running through the water and throwing frisbees. And, ooh, I want more of that, is the feeling. There's a big difference between saying this product is oversweetened, brown, sugary water versus this will make you happy. The world is trying to fill a spiritual void with the physical things that they have. Across the street, some very nice people, they sell insurance. Do they say I don't think they do. But when you die, your family will get lots of money. Or do they say, we can provide you with security, safety, peace of mind? Okay. Everyone who's good and sophisticated is going to try to fill your spiritual needs. Buy this, be happy. Buy this, be loved. If you buy this and wear it, people are going to love you. And we buy it because we don't remember how to get it ourselves. And so the remembrance is, who am I? What are my qualities? And actually where I'm from. Who am I really? What's going on? Excuse me. We're going to do 2 more experiments at least. Because as you remembered your breakfast, were you able to do that? Wave your hands if you were. Okay, good job. That was our exercise for tonight. If you were able to remember, maybe we'll do a couple more experiments. Breakfast, I want you to try to remember while you're sitting here, your physical home. After our little activities tonight, you will head out the door. Those that didn't have dinner might have something. Others go to bed, whatever it's going to be. But you'll find yourself probably back where you started the day. And I want you in your mind, you can close your eyes if it helps to visualize. I want you to see yourself here as the soul with your body sitting on the bench, nice and padded. But I want you to be able to find yourself now, and like you traveled to your breakfasts and where you were sitting, I want you to stay in front of your home. Find yourself by your front door. That's where you are, your consciousness. You see the door, open it. Does it go in or out? Move through the doorway, close the door. It's a different feel. It's in your home. Now I want you to move yourself to where meals are prepared. Maybe you have a refrigerator and a stove. Look around. See that place. See that room. Now I want you to go to where you're going to lie down tonight in your room, in your home. Maybe you have a bed. Maybe it's made. But look at it. Stand right next to it. You'll be there soon. Now come back inside by your front door. Go through the door, open it, close it. And now come back and reconnect to your physical body, sitting in the padded pews of Harmony House. Were you able to use your mind to travel home? Did you see it? Door? How many of you looked in the sink? Were there dishes? All clean? Could you remember where you lived? You have the power of the mind to choose to think about that. And that kind of appears, doesn't it? Well, if we have physical needs and spiritual needs, if we feed ourselves breakfast and we feed ourselves peace, and we have a place that we're going to go tonight, but we're actually spiritual being that maybe as spiritual beings, Before we were born into this body, we existed, and before, after we stop interacting with matter in this form of body will exist, that there might be another place, another home, another realm. And I'm going to see if we can remember that also. Total peace, atmosphere of love, our original home as spiritual beings, not connected just to this body. A place where the soul is in its original home, original realm, the dimension of peace, beyond the physical. Love, peace, happiness are not physical. They are in another realm, another dimension. We can access it. We have the ability to feel that because that's who we are, spiritual being. So this is going to be a little more challenging, but are you up for another little experiment? Because you went home, you took your mind and you remembered that. And now we're going to see if you can remember your original spiritual home. So take a deep breath. And just get comfortable. Maybe you can take yourself from Harmony House again. And if it's easier to go home, stand by your bed. And know that you'll be there, but you're going to take a little detour. You can fly with your thoughts. And so find yourself up above and look down. Go way up above. Nothing can harm you. And look down on the planet Earth, up in space. You see the ocean, you see that round sphere that's deep inside of your understanding, your memory. And now look the other way and see all the stars, sun, everything is out there in the physical world. But now we're going to transit even beyond that. And through the power of your mind, you will remember that we're leaving the physical realm and going into the dimension of peace. And if the picture on the wall behind me, that's you in the realm of peace, point of light, a glow of warmth, of love, peace, contentment. We're remembering what it's like to be our true self in our original true home. A soul unconnected to any concerns in the physical world. This is who we truly are. This is where we're truly from. This is what I remember and what I've been searching for. To reconnect with my original, full, complete, perfect state of being. And as I remember who I am and where I'm from, I allow that experience just to settle in, make it more available, easier to visit next time. And I bring myself back from the dimension of peace into the world of physical things, space, time, earth, and reconnect with my physical body. And I'm back at Harmony House, holding on, remembering to remember how it feels to be soul conscious. And when we're soul conscious together, the vibration changes. You have become very powerful in what you have set up here. I hope you feel the same way I do. That when you think about yourself and the qualities that you have, the world doesn't enter. Deep silence, deep understanding, a deep awareness of what you can attain again with the art to remember. There's one more step, if that's okay. Some of you may be still up there, I don't know. Are you okay with these little experiments? Difficult, hard, challenging, causing you tension? Sometimes trying to relax is real hard to do. But I want you to see if you can scan in your lifetime. You have hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of memories, life experiences. And in your life, somewhere, go back a long time, if you need to, there was someone who cared for you. And someone is going to pop into your mind. There's a person who did something in your life, gave you something, taught you something, shared with you, helped you, whatever it is. But someone cared for you. And I want you to think of that person. And then I want you to remember what they were doing that made an impact on you, as you remembered them here and now. Mother, grandmother, father, friend, teacher, stranger, one person, first one. And now go back to that moment and see what they're doing. What did they do that you remembered them and felt their care? And now focus on the feeling that was created through their actions. And if you chose someone who was caring, you were experiencing their love. And now focus more on the feeling that they created rather than the actions that caused that. And know there's been someone in your life who you remember, who has the qualities through their actions that communicated that spiritual quality. They were caring and they were loving. And if you can focus in and remember that, you will again have the experience now of love. And you can hold on to that, but we're going to take it from the physical to the spiritual. If you can see yourself as that entity that interacts in the realm of spiritual, metaphysical qualities, the soul. See yourself as the energy behind the eyes in this body. You can go back to your original home. Take your thoughts again into the sky, beyond the atmosphere. Look down on the planet Earth. You as the soul are free to fly. Move beyond all of the matter in space. Transition from the dimension of physical into the dimension of non-physical, and enter into the picture in front of you, the realm of silence, nirvana, beyond sound, and experience that deep silence. And recognize now you're not alone. There are many other souls. And the picture behind me now has changed. There's a very bright soul. And that soul is all loving, full of peace. And when we remember that relationship, that I have had the experience of complete love, total peace, that I have been loved, and I reclaim that by remembering who I am and who else is there that loves me completely. I am loving. I am lovable. And I remember the true, pure experience of love now. So we just merge into that experience. And as you merge into that experience, hold on to it, remember how you got there, remember how it feels, and remember now how to come back here. Soul worlds, physical worlds, planet Earth, Harmony House, reconnect to your physical self. Oftentimes we have a meditation commentary, but we had a meditation experience tonight. So I'm hoping, as we come to the end of the session, that you will remember something from this evening, that you will remember how to take joy out of a meal that's gone by, how to remember to leave a boring meeting if you want to take yourself somewhere else, and how to remember those that love you in this world and beyond, and that you have the ability to create a thought, tap into a memory, and remember what you're looking for, and that you will be successful if you practice that. Is everybody okay? Are you frozen? Are you stuck? Are you immersed in love that you are beyond words? Somewhere on that scale? Very good. Om Shanti. Thanks for coming to the art of not forgetting. Very good.
Thank you, Brother Eric. Thank you all. It's lovely. I'm good. Thank you.
That's what you do.
And I'm going to take those memories. It's funny, I can always remember food. You hit this.
Food. That was the clearest memory, the breakfast. Yeah, yum, yum.
Well, next week we continue, Zoomers, we meet again. We are having a panel next week and hopefully you'll join us because they're always very enlightening, if you will. And a lot of the people are people that sit with us and study with us, so it'll be most enjoyable. So we will be remembering with love the panel discussion next week, and we have a World Meditation Hour on this Sunday, August 17th, between 6:30 and 7:30 in person here in Harmony House and also online. So if you haven't signed up yet and you'd like to for notices and different programs that we have, please see me. And with that, please stay for the Toli and blessing. And thank you again, brother and Zoomers. Always good to see you. And brother Narayan, thank you for helping us as well. Om Shanti. And for the Supreme Soul, without this, makes it all possible. Om Shanti.
Stay as long as you want, but we're done.